Hey, Tony Gasson here, popping in for another episode of Talks with Tony. Dear Tony, first I would like to say thank you for your videos. The wisdom and advice you share daily have all been an absolute blessing. As for me, I have been celibate now for nearly 6 years. I am 30, happily single with no children. Also, I am active duty military and currently away overseas, serving a 1-year remote tour. While here, I met this guy, also military, in August 2020, of whom I started to date. From the first day we met, we spent every day together. We would work out together, have dinner together, watch movies together, and some mornings he would drive me to work. And on days we weren't able to see one another, he would at least FaceTime. To me, it felt like we were slowly building something strong. Well, 3 months before he flew out to complete this tour, October 2019, his daughter was born. He claimed that at the time he was not ready to be a father, and it sounded almost as if the woman got pregnant on accident. In October 2020, he took leave back to the States for his daughter's first birthday. It wasn't until the night before he flew out that he shared that he was going to stay with his daughter's mother. The entire time, 3 weeks, he was on leave, I barely heard from him. We only spoke twice, and he would take hours to reply to my messages. He claimed that his daughter was consuming his time and that he would rather keep his phone away in another room because when he's on it, she wants to play with it. Tony, ever since he returned from leave, the vibe has been off. I have not seen him. I rarely hear from him, and he doesn't sound as excited to hear from me as he did before. He doesn't call. He's in Orton, and I even offered to bring him whatever he needed, and to my surprise, he said no thank you. Dating in the military is so hard and sometimes gets discouraging. Can you please explain why men do this? Something tells me he is probably back with his daughter's mom, and that this is definitely over for us. Or maybe he's just not into me anymore. If he was no longer interested, why not be honest and say that? Oh, and I have stayed off my back and kept my celibacy and kept everything closed. LOL. Thank you, Tony. And she put her name, but please keep me anonymous. Sent from my iPhone. Well, God bless him. Glad you got an iPhone. I'm trying to see if we have find a coach. If we have military coaches on the service. If we got military coaches, I see we don't have a deployment coach. So that might be, let me see, military. Okay, let me click on military and apply the filter. All right, what we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 coaches, so it ain't many to pick from. So you can actually read their bios. Coach Ashley, Coach Francesca, Coach Tammy, and Coach Barbara. They are on mymentor.life. They military coaches now. This means that they done been through the situation and they want to help folks that's in that military and struggling. They on the outside looking in. I don't know what it's like to date in the military. I've never been in the military, so I could give you a little bit of insight on men, but I can't really give you too much insight on the military. So I want you to go to mymentor.life, and then what you click is at the top, you click find a coach, or you click browse coaches. When you click find a coach, it's going to come up and you're going to see a list of the coaches. You're going to see the coaches, but above the coaches, it's a blue line. And it says click to filter coaches. When you click to filter coaches, you're going to see the different filters. You can use any filter. You can use the name. You could click the service. You could click the gender. You could click the coaching medium, the language. Or you could search by appointment date if you only have one date available that you could do coaching. On this one, I click service and I scroll down to military, and then I click apply filter. When I did that, them 4 coaches came up. And so, and then they have, each coach has two other things that they specialize in too. So you can see what's the fit for you. So, and I'm going to try to do this more often too. Shout out some of the coaches on mymentor.life when y'all write in, and it's something that I could kind of speak on, but not all the way too much. I see my wife text me right now. I'm hoping it ain't nothing too pressing. But listen to me. What it sounds like to me is that he was with his baby mama the whole time. He was with his baby mama the whole time. Cause see, look, you met this guy in August 2020. You wrote me in November 2020. And so August, September, October. So y'all was just 3 months strong. And then October 2020, he took his leave. What it sounds like to me is that he was always with her. But being deployed overseas, it's a lot of excuses that a man could use for the time that he's spending with you. And so y'all spent every day together, and y'all would work out together, have dinner together, watch movies together, and some mornings he would drive me to work. So now listen, you stayed off that bike. So he did all that, and you say you kept everything closed, and you've been celibate for nearly 6 years, and you 30 years old, so you ain't came off nothing since 24. So when he and your email, say, that you virtuous. So that right there, that let me know you take yourself serious. Now, ain't this ironic that the other lady who wrote in yesterday, do you see how God be producing this here Talks with Tony? That we just got a letter from a lady who had been celibate 5.5 years, and she in the military. And she over there with them legs in the air sending videos of what she doing. Now, this sister here, 6 year abstinent, and she in the military, and she chose the other road. Now, so listen. You see how it's gonna happen? The other lady was doing stuff and still got the short end of the stick. You kept everything closed and still got the short end of the stick. So what that goes to show is that if the man is not for you, the man is not for you. Whether you giving it up or whether you preserving it. If he's not for you, he's not for you, and you got to go on about your business. Point blank period. You got to go on about your business. That's what you got to understand. So let this be a lesson. That don't worry about the man and what he doing. Now listen, if he was no longer interested, why not be honest and say that? Because that sounds too much like right. That make too much sense. Because here's the thing. It's not that he's not interested. It could be that he done got bite and he done laid eyes on somebody else. So it's like, listen, he did all this whining and dining with you, and you ain't come off none of that though. You ain't popped that cookie jar open. So he like, man, I'm over here wasting time. I'm supposed to be over here getting me some in. If I'm finna be putting all this work in, I ain't trying to marry the woman, so I need somebody that finna come off of that guava cake. So you ain't trying to come off that good guava? Listen, I got to find somebody else. That's one of the reasons, okay? He looking for a friend with benefits. So he was your friend, but wasn't no benefits. And you falling for him, and he know you falling for him, but he don't want to be that nasty of a guy to where he let you fall all the way and hit your head on the concrete, then to just up and go on by his business, because he's still with his child mama. That's why he stayed with her. Because if he ain't with her, he would have stayed with his mama or his homeboy or something like that. But he's still with that child mama. And that's why he wasn't on no phone with you. Because if he ain't with her and they truly broke up and he just a roommate, when his daughter went to sleep, he would have been trying to get on the phone with you. But he up under her. And listen, this option number 2, and we'll say neither one is higher than the other. It's one of these two options dealing with a man. The other option is when he went home, he rebonded with his woman. And boom, all that energy that he had done built up, all that love. Because when you spending time together, but you're not acting on it physically, you building love. So he was so wound up and backed up, even if he was over there with Angela overseas, for him to come home and actually touch a woman and take that out on her, that what he built up with you actually connected him to her even stronger. So now that he connected to her even stronger, his conscience kicked in. His conscience kicked in. So now when he come back, he's still trying to keep her. Now he got to lull her back to sleep, because she, if they was together the whole time, she wondering why for the last 3 months you've been hard to get in touch with. And he probably made up an argument to break up with her, to get them 3 months of dating in with you, that August, September, and then half of October, or any of October, because you say October 2020 he left. So them 2 strong months he had with you, he could have struck up an argument with his child's mother or his wife. He could be wholly and fully married. He could be married and just don't wear no ring. A lot of men don't wear no ring, especially when they doing physical activity or they in somebody's military. That ring put up in a box. They start wearing it the last week before they go home, or they wear it all the way home to try to get that indent back in there. Now just pressing on it. He on the plane just pressing that ring all around that finger, trying to just sit it outside. Get home and just sit it outside. Y'all gotta forgive me a little ash. Just sit it outside and just let the sun beat on it so he could try to get the little tan line. So when he go home and take it off, he got a tan line. And flying home with a hand out the window of the plane, just get that tan line in there. So now listen to me. I just got out of here shower, ain't putting no lotion on. I'm putting some lotion on. I'm gonna look like I'm breaking bricks, playing in chalk. And so now listen to me. So that could have been it too. So now he back, and now he in Q-Teen. Y'all know what Q-Teen is. When you done went somewhere and you got to come back and you got to sit down in 14 days. Now he in Q-Teen. So now he's sitting there and he trying to be in close contact with her. Just because he done reeled her back in and got her back in. And when that conscience kicked in. So it's one of the 2 things, and it could be a little bit of both. It could be a little bit of both. So, and then you say, something tells me he is probably back with his daughter's mom. You think? Oh, really? That's what you? Yeah, absolutely. That's something that's telling you that. Yeah, it's telling you that. It's telling you that. And sister, listen, I know dating in the military is hard, but man, you got to be careful. Well, you got to be careful. I'm gonna tell you too. A lot of men in the military, not all now, not all. Listen, not all. So if it's not you, shut your mouth. Tired of the exception to the rule, always got to be in the comment. Oh, that don't apply to these. We ain't talking to you then. Hush. I say a lot of men in the military have a scarcity mindset. A lot of men go to the military out because they lost, because they feel lost and they have nothing else to do and they don't know which way to go with their life. So they go to the military. And that is why a lot of people go to the military, especially a lot of people of color. And a lot of times people get offended by that. Well, I went to the military to pay for my education. Congratulations. Congratulations. That's you. That don't mean that you did not feel lost. Because you know there's actually 1,000,001 scholarships that could pay for your education. That you don't have to go risk your life in a whole nother country. There's an app called Scholly. Scholly, send me a check. There is an app called Scholly that you could get scholarships for your eye color, for your hair color, for your skin color, for the state you come from the city you come from, for being a first generation college student, for being under 5 feet tall, for being over 6 feet tall. There is a scholarship for your gender. You hear what I'm telling you? There's a scholarship for everything out there. But a lot of people is signing up in somebody's service to pay for their college. because they did not know of another option, because they did not know there were other ways to pay for school, or because, again, like I said, scarcity mindset. They fear student loans so bad, they fear debt so bad, to only still end up in debt, because you still got to buy a house, you still got to buy a car, even though you went to the service, even your college paid for, but you still in debt with your mortgage, with your car note. You still in debt, and it may pay for your college, but what if you want to keep on going to school? You still could acquire some type of debt. And so I say that to say, a lot of men who in the military is secretly married, because a lot of times they get married if the branch they in or the situation they in gonna pay them more money. I know that firsthand, because that's why my homeboy got married, because he said, if I get married, it's gonna boost my pay by $900 or $1,200. It was one of the two, for living expenses or something. I was like, so you finna get a whole wife for $1,200 a month, for $900 a month? Yeah. But that's exactly why he was going. You know why I signed up for the Army? Because I was lost. I was completely 100% lost. I didn't know what to do. I was already married to my wife. And so I would have got that extra little marriage bonus too. And I begged my wife. She said, no. After begging her, she finally said, yeah. And when she finally said, yeah, I talked to my daddy. And my daddy the one who talked me out of the Army. He said, son, do not do it. That man in office, that's when Bush was in office. He said, that man in office, son, you going to get sent to war. And he said, I'm not going to be able to sleep. He said, son, you go to that Army, I'm going to take my life. That's what he told me. He had to pull whatever card he had to pull for me not to sign up in the Army. You know why he did that? Because he went to the Army. And he served 3 years. And you know why he did it? Because he was lost. So to all of y'all who go because of your patriotism and all of that, God bless you. All of y'all that go to the service with a clear mind and you know exactly what you want out of life, God bless you. But you represent 10% of the people that's in there. You represent 10% of the people in there. Because when you come from places where I come from, 100% of the people that's going, it ain't nothing about no patriotism. It's about you trying to get a consistent, good check. And you want VA benefits. You want to be able to sign up with Navy Federal Credit Union. And you want your schooling paid for if you want to go to college. It ain't nothing about no patriotism. And so we have to be real about that. And we got to start being honest about that. And we got to start looking for, because the reason why I say that is because it's a handful of people that go in that service and come out and be better off on the other side than when they went in there. Majority of the people I know that go to the service come out and just start from scratch, start over. And that's why you see so many people too on the side of the road talking about they're a veteran, holding that sign talking about they're a veteran. And so it's like, it ain't all peaches and cream. So this is a whole nother lesson right here to say, listen, I would not be where I am today with the brand that I have and the business that I've built had my father and my wife let me go. I would be like some of my friends who still are at square one and starting all over and have gone through so much, because I have people that was in them service for 4, 8, 12 years, and guess what they did? They got married to get that extra money, but then still end up cheating on their wife with a woman that was in the barracks with them, with a woman that was serving with them. And so destroyed their marriage, end up divorced, end up going through because of all that separation in deployment. And so that's why I say, when everybody that's on here that you deployed or that you get deployed, get you a life coach. Now, I coach 2 or 3 women that's overseas in Kuwait. I don't know if that's how you say it. And they just call me just to talk. Just talk through what they doing. And some of them, they're planning. One of my clients, she over there, she been in there 22 years. And her reasons, she come from a small town. Her reasons is probably similar to the reasons I said. But she setting up a savings, setting up to pay off her houses. I think she got multiple houses, working on her brand. And she building so that when she come home, she could hit the ground running. And so that's what y'all got to be doing over there. Instead of worrying about you some dang-a-lang, see that like you got to look at it like a sentence. Like you getting sat down for 4 years to get you a steady paycheck without having bills. So it's kind of like an extension of being a dependent, except for you working for your country. So instead of worrying about getting on your back and worrying about meeting your husband or your wife, use that time to where when you're not at work, instead of worrying about going out and hanging out, start focus on your plan so that you can make this here service work for you instead of just wasting X amount of years of your life, so that you could come home with a fat savings, with a big plan, and it's all mapped out. You done dreamt through it. You done wrote it out. You done spec'd it out for your nonprofit organization, for your for-profit company, for your degree you're going to take that's paid for your savings is set up so that you already got the down payment so that you could take advantage of getting a VA loan and having to do 0 down payment or 3% or 5% down payment, wherever it is in your area, but your savings is set up. You just ain't getting your money and buying designer clothes so that on the weekend when you get to be off, you could get dressed and trying to go viral as the hot, sexy military bae. And I be seeing them on Instagram, that the women in the military who going viral for trying to look cute. It's like, listen, don't worry about all that. Worry about what's in your savings out of what you being paid. You see what I'm saying? So this right here took us somewhere else, and the reason why I'm speaking on this, and it's hard to hear. And listen to me, if you in the military, this ain't no military hate. This ain't none of that. But I'm speaking from where I was, because I realized I would have had stolen greatness. I realized that it would have derailed me. I realized it would have set me in a place and I would have been stagnant. I realized it also could have ruined my marriage. And that's what happened with my dad. When he went over there, it ruined him and my mom relationship. And so when they came back, yes, they got back together, but their relationship was never the same because of what happened between them when he got sent over to Germany for a little bit. And so he got out after 3 years. That's why I was born in El Paso, Texas, because my dad was stationed in El Paso, Texas. But before being in El Paso, he was in Germany. And so, and the reason why is because that was the clear-cut option. ROTC or whatever, the recruiter see you, they pitch this to you. And then when he came home, yes, he bought a house here not long ago, and this is the second house he has owned, so he got the benefit from the VA situation. But at the same time, he still, it ain't like it just set him up for, success. He went to become a police officer because that's another uniform service. Then he went to work for UPS. Then he became a lineman working on power lines. So it ain't like you just go over there and you come back and now your life just laid in the shade. So the reason why I'm saying this is to the young folks that you going through college. Because one lady told me she went to the military after college to do something. To do something. It's like everybody got their own path. But what I'm saying to the people who you going because you feel lost, because you feel distraught, because you feel optionless, sit down. Just pause. Just pause. It's not the end of the world. Just put one foot in front of the other. Go through the motions until you find your flow. But don't go sign up in somebody's situation that you don't know where it's finna take you and where you finna be and what can happen. You see what I'm saying? So that's another lesson from this that y'all ain't even want on this right here. But to this right here, sister, it's really just a situation that you can't call it. We really don't know which one it is, and it's probably a little bit of both. And I think that if he gonna be over there putting in all that time dating and watching movies, he really want him some legs. He want him some legs up in the air. And if you ain't got your legs up in the air, that's probably why he also trying to go on shake you. And he hoping that this 3 weeks was enough of destiny separation for you to get over him and go on about your business, because that ain't what he want to do. Now, the fact that he giving you this little energy right here like this, don't let him come back. Don't let him come back now. Don't let him come back. And if you done let him come back, when by the time you hear this letter, you playing yourself. Hey, so this Tony Gaston, this right here went somewhere else. Y'all forgive me, but this may be one of many videos in a day. So not all these gonna be relationship deep. But the key lesson that I want you to also get is, do not sit still, stagnant, and complacent, trying to wrap your mind around what a man or woman is doing. You won't understand everything, but what you have to understand is they are not yours, and you got to go on about your business. Hey, this is Tony Gaston. God bless you. We'll talk soon.